Hello, my name is Isaac Acosta. In this presentation, I'm going to discuss how technology has influenced social norms, how you can implement technology in the classroom with minimal distractions, and also provide a tool for you to analyze the risks and benefits of using technology. My hope is that you incorporate the tools provided in this presentation and grow an awareness of the role of technology in education and beyond. Within the last 20 years, the implementation of computers into society and by extension the classroom in early grades and high school has significantly impacted societal norms. Any new technology impacts societal norms and they tend to create norms that support the use of the technology itself. In other words, behaviors and expectations change and adapt to the technology. Subsequently, the internet has been a major advancement of technology. According to Purdue University, by 2009, 97% of classrooms had one or more computers, and 93% of computers had internet access. Also, according to Purdue University, instructors say that 40% of students use computers often in their educational methods, in addition to interactive whiteboards and digital cameras. As you can see, the computer and internet are staples in the classroom and society. Technological advancements lead to changes in norms. In the next slide, I'm going to discuss what are societal norms and how they've been influenced by technology. Technological advancements change social norms. In general, social norms are written rules of behaviors and beliefs that are considered acceptable from society at large. I like to think of social norms as the code that guides us in order to act in a proper, orderly, and predictable manner. There are several examples of how social norms are changed through advancement. Google Glass brought on social norm changes regarding privacy and what should be considered public. The implementation of the automobile has also changed norms regarding safety and activity on roads. Due to computer and internet usage, there have been several changes in social norms or what is considered normal or acceptable behavior. I will be breaking down these changes and have categorized them to changes in communication, changes in the demand of skills, and changes in social activity, specifically in broader culture and education. Here are several change in norms due to the ease and use of technology, specifically regarding communication. Because of email and internet, teachers and parents can have a better communication regarding student activity and achievement. Teachers and parents now have more opportunities to discuss issues together, something that was not possible with relative ease before the use of email and phones. The use of technology has also changed the way families communicate. Due to phone usage, parents might experience disconnect and decrease in empathy. These norms can also extend into the classrooms as teachers need to be vigilant about phone usage and its negative consequences, something that was not present in my time as a high school student. Lastly, conflict and harassment has entered the digital space and caused immense social and psychological damage to people. Although not acceptable behavior, this has changed into social norm present in society due to the advancement of technology. Social activity and social activism have also dramatically changed due to the advancement of telecommunication technology. That has changed the norms surrounding social activity. Activists, groups, and communities can form online and lead social change and causes. For example, climate change groups can form online communities to promote different environmental practices. Norms surrounding opinions online have changed also. It used to be that sharing an opinion about a particular subject would end at the person and their social group. However, due to telecommunications, individual opinions can morph into social agendas and influence social change. Another example in extended education is that now students can form online communities and discussions, for example, on classroom discussions on Google Classroom or discussion groups or Flipgrid. The 21st century and its technology has created demands on students and teachers and changed the norms of what it means to be effective. Because of the ever-changing forms of technology, people must also be able to adapt. Some of these skills and adaptations include being a problem solver, computational thinker, designer, and creative communicator. No longer are students mainly required to pass tests and memorize facts. They actually need to further develop skills like creative thinking, relationship building, teamwork, and global communication and awareness. In the following slides, I will discuss the utilization of technology for learning and how to minimize distractions. Utilizing technology. There are benefits of utilizing technology in the classroom. For example, there are more opportunities for global awareness and communication, frequent interaction, instant feedback, and opportunities for active engagement. Here are some suggested apps and programs you can utilize in your classroom. Here are some benefits in more detail. The benefits of using technology is that there's benefits for students. It enhances and deepens learning. There's frequent interaction. Here are some suggested ways you can use it. Embedded assessment, Google Forms, Go Formative quizzes. There's real-time feedback, for example, like QuizStar, Go Formative data, collaborative technologies and platforms like Padlet, Google Discussions, Smartboards, enhanced learning. There's virtual reality field trips, multimedia. There's ed puzzles, also Flipgrid, and also there's enhanced communication. For example, the Remind app and Aries Communication, which is an attendance software that you can use to communicate with parents and students. Smartboards are also another way that incorporate these practices. Smartboards allow for collaboration, problem solving. It's visual, it's active, it's student centered, and also allows students to connect to other students from around the world and within their own school. How to minimize distraction. So there are several ways you can minimize distractions. You can use device contracts. You can use screen locks and monitoring software on whatever technology you're using. There's also look for the settings on the technology itself. Are there distraction free mode? For example, there's distraction free mode on Google Docs. And also try to incorporate breaks. For example, the Pomodoro method, and also incorporate screen time breaks. Your classroom setup can also be used to minimize distractions, have designated and controlled areas where technology is stored, have consistent workflow. You should allow students to know what is expected of them so they are not confused and engage in other behaviors. Communication, use like chat, Go Guardian exact has that. You can communicate with them to keep them on track. How do you balance educational technology in the classroom? These are just some suggestions that you can do. You can communicate with parents and guardians to ensure if the use of technology is working for their students. Sometimes technology is good to use, but sometimes it might not be working. It might cause more work uh, than you intended. That could be something that you can think about and maybe use an alternative method versus the platform or whatever you're using. You should also take stock of the amount of technology you use. Are some of the apps you use redundant? Are you using too much technology? Are you using technology for the sake of using it? And also, can the work be done traditionally versus on computer or technology platform? If you consider these questions, you might balance the technology use in your classroom. All right, so I created this tool. These are a series of questions you can ask yourself when you want to incorporate technology in the classroom. It's some of the risks and benefits of using it. I will start with the benefits. You can ask yourself, does this technology allow students to practice 21st century skills? Does this technology provide students opportunities to practice skills such as being a communicator or being a computational thinker? You must ask yourself, what are the students going to get out of this? What are they going to practice? What habits are they going to develop? Ease, does this technology have instant feedback or automated assessment that assists students? Does this technology provide streamlined, organized data for instructors? In my opinion, I don't think you should use technology that doesn't make your life easier. This is something that you should consider when choosing technology to use in the classroom. Also, and more importantly, is engagement. Is the technology engaging for students? Does it allow multimedia? Does it allow interaction? Also, is the technology student centered? In other words, does it allow students to use it independently with one another? I would say if these are mostly yes, it would be a lot of benefit for use in the classroom. There's also risk regarding technology use. Equity is something that you should really focus on. Does the technology have access? Do students have access to broadband and infrastructure to use the technology? Are accommodations possible? Do students have the ability to get assistance on how to use the technology on their own? Do they have a number where they can call? Is there someone in their school that is in charge of helping students? Legality, is the technology used obtained legally? Is there possibility of inappropriate content via this technology? Is the student information kept private? Are there no disclosures of student information? This should be all yes, also all yes on equity. The distractions, this is your judgment call, I would suggest. If not applicable, just use general class management techniques. Keep monitoring students, be aware of what they're doing on the technology. But these are questions you can think of or ask yourself. Does this technology have built-in features that prevent off-task behavior? If not, is the technology able to be monitored? Second, does this technology have chat or communication features that could be appropriately turned on and off? And also, is this technology able to be controlled by the instructor? Like I said, if these, I would say in this column, they're not um, exactly a deal breaker in my case. Just use general management techniques. So these questions will guide you and help you to determine whether you should use technology or not. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I will be here to answer any questions. Also, here are my references that I use for this presentation, and thank you for listening.